In recent months, we've seen a push for leaders at all levels of government to address disparities that have been exacerbated by the pandemic. Here in San Diego, the Latino community disproportionately impacted by the virus. Cities and the county have taken steps to improve outreach, and now the state has introduced metrics aimed at equity that will influence reopenings. And here to discuss those measures and what else can be done, CEO of the Chicano Federation, Nancy Maldonado. Nancy, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So let me just get your impression, first of all, of this new metric, and are you supporting it? What do you think it will do?
Yes, absolutely. We think it's a step in the right direction. And in fact, Chicano Federation was the organization that introduced some of these concepts. We sent a letter to the governor's office back in June to alert his office about what was happening in San Diego and how Latinos were being disproportionately affected. And we had a call with his office in June, and we discussed some of these items. So we were pleased to see that this had been, actually moved forward on, and that it had become policy, because we can't move forward until we're all in this together and we're addressing our most impacted communities and making sure that they have the education, the resources that they need so that they don't continue to be disproportionately affected. And here in San Diego County, that population are Latinos.
And you talk about disproportionately affected. I was looking at some of the numbers provided by the state, and we talk about 25% of our population live in these neighborhoods that we'd define as being, underserved. Yet they account for some 40% of the positive cases that we're seeing. Can you speak to that a little bit? Why are the cases so much higher in these areas?
Well, I think it's a number of different factors. One of the things that we've seen is that Latinos are overrepresented in frontline jobs and in these jobs that are at the forefront of serving our community and our state. So the very least that we can do is to make sure that our frontline workers are taken care of and that their families are protected. So that's one of the reasons. Multi-generational housing is another reason. I mean, as we all know, that's an issue in California and particularly here in San Diego. So those are two of the reasons. Obviously, there's a lot more to that, but those are two of the biggest concerns that we've had and that we've drawn attention to in the infection rates here in San Diego County.
My understanding is that the implementation of this equity approach, it doesn't necessarily have to show improvement, but it has to show a response that is commensurate with the problem that exists. What do you think about that?
Like I said, I think that's a step in the right direction. And I think here in San Diego County, we've already started to do that in our outreach and education. So I think it's just a continuation of all of the efforts that we've already started and just really ramping up our outreach and our education and doing so in a message that resonates with our Latino community. So we've already started to do that. So we're a step ahead in that regard. So it's just continuing to do what we've already started.
In terms of that education, what is the number one thing you're trying to get across to people that live in these neighborhoods that can help to protect them?
Really, we're trying to increase testing and ensure people that their data is protected. Privacy continues to be a big concern, and rightfully so. Contact tracing, we're really encouraging folks to participate in contact tracing. And again, privacy is a concern, along with a number of other reasons. And then really educating our community and making sure that they have everything that they need to know should they choose to participate in this vaccine trial. So a lot of what we're doing is not just prevention, but also testing, contact tracing, and making sure that they understand that they need to self-isolate, that they need to alert the people that they've been around if they are exposed or they do test positive. So we will continue to do this outreach, and we will continue to educate our community so that we can all move forward together.
Nancy Maldonado of the Chicano Federation. She is CEO. And Nancy, a pleasure to talk to you today.
Thank you.